I welcome all of you to this very holy occasion. I won't call it a solemn occasion. I will call it a holy occasion because the Bhaktiprana Mataji, in whose name this occasion is being held, is a very highly noble soul. So we are very lucky to hear something, and you'll be very fortunate. This whole afternoon, you will hear some personal reminiscences of people who were very closely associated with her, because she spent 60 years of her life in Matri Bhavan. She not only molded us, yes, we got some scoldings from her, but for the betterment of our spiritual life, but also she molded the institution to its present status. I would like to add a few of my reminiscences, the way she molded my life, because I basically, when I came here, I'm not an Indian, I was a Pakka foreigner. And the way she made me inculcate all the foreign habits is something I really appreciate. I am most grateful for having been given this opportunity of expressing a few sacred memories of a great soul. We were blessed to have served a pure soul, and whose life was totally dedicated and surrendered at the feet of Holy Mother. A life of deep contemplation and prayer on the divine. Revered Pravrajika Bhaktiprana Mataji, lovingly called Revered Boroma, was the fourth president of the Sri Sarada Math and Ramakrishna Sarada Mission. At a young age, she joined the nascent Sri Sarada Math and was given the responsibility of taking care of the newly acquired hospital center, Ramakrishna Sarada Mission Matri Bhavan. At first, she was very disappointed because she had envisaged a total life of contemplation and renunciation. It was revered Swami Abhayanandaji Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj, who consoled her and told her that as taught by Sri Ramakrishna, one must be like a discarded used food plate, etopata. The wind tosses the food plate, which at times falls on good ground and at other times in dirty places. A life of complete surrender to the divine. She followed this dictum to the last breath of her life. My first acquaintance with Revered Boroma was in Kashi while on a pilgrimage with my family. After the initial introduction, she invited me to Calcutta to stay with her in Matri Bhavan and lead the life of renunciation. Such an outpouring of motherly affection soon formed a loving bond between both of us, and I was inspired to lead a life dedicated to God. While at Matri Bhavan, my initial duty was to work as a medical officer in the hospital. Since I only had a smattering knowledge of Bengali and was not aware of the customs and practices of the local people, Revered Boroma kept a close watch on me to see that nobody put me into any difficulty or I did not get hurt in any way. From the beginning, I was very keen to do some shrine duties. So Revered Boroma, in her very intimate style, she explained to me that my temple was the hospital, and I must serve the mothers as manifestations of the divine. So from the very first day, she invariably guided me onto the spiritual path. We had heard that when revered Boroma was handed over the charge of Matri Bhavan, day and night she spent in the hospital serving them, not as patients, but as mothers, visible manifestations of the divine. Their meals, when cooked, was personally supervised by her and then served to the mothers as food offered to the divine in a shrine. Due to the lack of staff, all workers, including the cleaning of bathrooms, was done by the few monastic nuns. Revered Boroma had undergone nursing training in Shishumangal, Ramakrishna Mission Seva Pratishthan, and also had the guidance of revered Swami Dayananandaji Maharaj, who was in charge of Shishumangal at that time. When I had the opportunity to accompany revered Boroma on the daily ward rounds in Matri Bhavan, it was really a spiritual experience. She would come immaculately dressed for the rounds. Those days we did not have mobile. She'll have a watch. And mind you, she belongs to the older generation. Nicely she'll wear a watch. Her chadar is immaculately neat and clean. Sometimes we felt that we were untidy. She would come immaculately dressed for the rounds, and her maternal affection and feelings for all categories of staff was indescribable. She would inquire after their personal health as well as their family problems and difficulties. Her observation power was very sharp, and at times she would tell me that a particular mother looked anemic and I should check her hemoglobin. Revered Boroma kept herself informed continuously about the condition of every mother. On one or two occasions, when a mother's condition had become critical, I would find her seated anxiously at the hospital center table, supervising the necessary steps to be taken that all that senior doctors should be present on the occasion. After which, she will go to her room and spend her time in deep prayers for the well-being of that mother. On one occasion, a mother in the hospital had a sudden intrauterine fetal death, and a group of angry women, 50 in number, wanted to meet revered Boroma for an explanation. Revered Boroma is very courageous. She agreed to meet them all alone. But somehow or other, I wanted to see how she will manage 50 angry women. She did not want me to accompany her. But somehow I squeezed myself into that room, and she told me, "You will not open your mouth, you will sit quietly in one corner." I didn't have the courage to open my mouth anyway. Initially, the women kept on blaming revered Boroma for everything, although the majority of IU deaths, that is intrauterine deaths, are not explainable. Why an intrauterine death occurs world over, we really don't know. 70% of these deaths are inexplainable. Revered Boroma listened to their grievances very patiently and then told them that they will not be able to imagine the severe pain that she was going through, realizing that a mother will be leaving this hospital without her baby. She had identified herself with this mother totally and felt her loss deeply. This had had such a strong impact on that group of women. There was pin-drop silence, and each one left the room quietly. Another occasion, second floor extension of the hospital was being constructed to include major emergency wards on the second floor. So it was necessary to strengthen the ground floor. So I had inquired and I had requested Boroma, "You please come to be present, because your holy presence was sufficient to bless the new construction." She was present, a beautiful, comfortable chair arranged, and then I said, you please sit here. All emergency sections are being opened upstairs. You please pray. She sat down. The engineers started breaking the ground floor to put the steel beams that are going to strengthen the ground floor so that a second floor can come up. After a while, what I noticed was she was present. But after a little while, she left and returned to her room. On inquiring whether she was not feeling well, she told me, I cannot go anymore. I said, why, Boroma? What's wrong? Then she said that whenever the engineer attempted to strike the floor, to insert the iron beams, she felt a corresponding unbearable pain and could not stay there anymore. For revered Boroma, the hospital was part of Sri Ramakrishna, Shanga Murati Sri Ramakrishna. And although the extension work of the hospital was very essential and had to be done, revered Boroma had identified herself to such an extent with the hospital that it was difficult for her to be present during the construction work. But after completing the construction, she took part in all the plans for the interior decoration. And then she was so very practical, and her color choices also were very good. For some cabins, for some reason, I didn't give a bathroom. So she's told me, where are the people going? Which bathroom are they going to? I said, there's a bathroom in the corner. She says, no. Alter the cabin and put attached bathrooms to the cabin. Then another time she got a little annoyed with me, and then the contractor told that the whole of the hospital will be white, painted white. Then I said, Boroma, what is the paint? She said, the contractor said painted white. I said, Acha. For 3 days she didn't talk to me. Then I came down. Then she told me, what do you want to tell me? I said, Boroma, white is not your color, Boroma. Then what do you want me to do? I said, I'll bring all the tiles in the hospital and you will choose. Teak, her color is green. It's a beautiful green. And when you go, all our emergency sections in the second floor are all with that very eye-soothing green. It's very soothing. That is Boroma's choice. So every time I go to upstairs, I remember her. Because she, in the end, she chose that color. She's got a very artistic temperament. On another occasion, she had read the newspaper. I didn't know that she had reads all these Bengali newspapers and all that. Then she called me. She says, you've got some work to do. I said, tell me, Mataji, what should I do? You have to go to the health department and you will see the health department is doing a public-private partnership. I said, for what? For nursing, auxiliary nurse and midwifery. Then I told her, Mataji, to start a school of nursing, you need a lot of infrastructure. We don't have the land, we don't have the faculty, we don't have anybody. Hearing this, revered Boroma got irritated with me and asked me whether I had come to do Swamiji's work or while away my time eating and sleeping. So I didn't reply. It's better not to reply. So without a word, I went to the health department. 3 hours I sat there, met the director concerned, and immediately he gave the necessary permission. Then I went back immediately to Matri Bhavan. On returning to Matri Bhavan, I was actually a brahmacharini. So I expected a nod of appreciation from revered Boroma. When I entered her room, she listened to everything very carefully. And then she silently looked intensely at Holy Mother's picture in a meditative mood. I had no option but to leave the room silently. For her, it was all Holy Mother. Today, thanks to the blessings and initiation of Matri, an initiative of Matri Bhavan, not only is there a school of nursing, but also a college of nursing where many students are undergoing diploma and degree courses in nursing. She is also very, very keen in relief work. Wherever there is relief work, she'll be the first person on the thing. Doesn't matter if she's ill or not. She had malaria, high fever. She said, come, we are going to Orissa, we are going to relief work. Even the doctors could not dissuade her. Then we went to do the relief work, and we got into boats because the whole thing was crowded. And the boat that we got into, or rather the boat that she got into, it started sinking. So I was thinking, my God, now what will Boroma do? So the men volunteers slowly got Boroma out. All her clothes were wet. And then, no, nothing. She was not upset. She was not angry, nothing. She said, come, all of you. That means the women volunteers. She says, come. And she told the men volunteers, take all the food, everything, to those poor people who are without food, go in the remaining boats, and then serve them. Then I was just thinking to myself, what will Boroma do? Revered Boroma entered a simple village home. We don't know anybody there. She asked the lady of the house for a sari, changed her wet clothes, and then sat joyfully singing bhajans to Holy Mother. She was offered a simple diet of rice and vegetables, and she waited patiently for the rest of the team to return so that we can all return to Calcutta. Here we found any relief work with Boroma was nothing but an experience of joy and fun. Not only us, but people from various walks of life were deeply attracted by revered Boroma's motherly affection and love. She was their guide and source of inspiration for all their problems. They, in turn, helped her whenever in need. Revered Boroma had a deep sense of respect for Ramakrishna Mission Seva Pratishthan. Her initial nursing training was from Seva Pratishthan under the guidance of Revered Dayanandaji Maharaj. Since the hospital foundation was inaugurated by her guru, Revered Swami Vigyanandaji Maharaj, she expressed a desire that whenever any medical treatment might be needed, she should be taken to Seva Pratishthan. Accordingly, to her last moments were in Ramakrishna Mission Seva Pratishthan, and many senior monks of the Ramakrishna Mission order got the opportunity to receive her blessings, for which they were extremely grateful. Recently, on behalf of Sri Sadhamath, I went to meet the Secretary Maharaj of Ramakrishna Mission Seva Pratishthan to express our gratitude for the meticulous seva given to revered Boroma during her illness. Maharaj emphatically told me that they were blessed by being given the opportunity to serve her, and in turn receiving her blessings, which they treasure very deeply. For them, she was the representative of Sri Sri Ma. I listened silently, realizing that revered Boroma had made the whole world her own. No one was a stranger to her. She also left an indelible impression in our lives that Sri Sri Thakur, Sri Sri Ma are not only refuge, guide and support, but our one purpose in life is to realize our own inherent divine nature. With her blessings, let us endeavour to make this life a reality in our very lives. Jai Ma.
I express heartfelt gratitude to Mataji for sharing such intricate details of our beloved Boroma's life with us, which shall always be the guiding star in our life. এবার আমি অনুরোধ করছি ডক্টর পি.কে. মুখার্জি, কনসালটেন্ট, অবস্টেট্রিশিয়ান অ্যান্ড গাইনোকোলজি, রামকৃষ্ণ সারদা মিশন মাতৃ ভবন, স্যারকে কিছু বক্তব্য রাখবার জন্য। আমরা আমাদের পরবর্তী বক্তব্যে চলে যাচ্ছি। আমি অনুরোধ করছি মিস্টার পি.কে. মহান্তি, কমিটি মেম্বার অফ রামকৃষ্ণ সারদা মিশন মাতৃভবন, কিছু বক্তব্য রাখবার জন্য।
শ্রী শ্রী ঠাকুর, শ্রী শ্রী মা, সবার প্রিয়, সবার নমস্য স্বামীজি, ওনাদের চরণে আমার বিনীত প্রণাম। মঞ্চে উপবিষ্ট আমার সবার পূজনীয়া অমলাপ্রাণা মাতাজিকে আমার সশ্রদ্ধ প্রণাম। এখানে যারা উপস্থিত আছেন সকল মাতাজিদের এবং যারা ভক্তমণ্ডলী যারা আছেন সবাইকে আমার আন্তরিক শ্রদ্ধা ভালোবাসা জানিয়ে আজকের এই স্মরণ সভায় কিছু বলার জন্য উপস্থিত হয়েছি। চেষ্টা করব, আমার খুব কম সময়ের জন্য আমি বড় মাকে পেয়েছিলাম। সে বড় মা জীবন নিয়ে আজকে আলোচনা করার ধৃষ্টতা আমাদের নেই। বড় মা হলেন একটা পূর্ণ জীবন, একটা পূর্ণ আত্মা, একটা মহান ব্যক্তি। তার বিচরণ ছিল মহান জগৎ, সারা জগৎ জুড়ে। কিন্তু আমরা জানি, আমি এই মাতৃভবনের সাধারণ কর্মী হিসাবে যুক্ত থাকার পরে আজকে এই ধরনের উনার স্মৃতিচারণ করার সুযোগ পাব, তার জন্য আমি ধন্য, আমি কৃতজ্ঞ। আমি ভাবতে পারিনি যে বড় মাকে স্মরণ করার জন্য আমাকে মনোনীত করা হবে। আমি কয়েকটি কথা শুধু বলবো। একটি ব্যক্তি কেন আমাদের মাঝে স্মরণীয় হয়ে থাকেন, কেন বড় মা আজকে আমাদের মাঝে স্মরণীয়, পূজনীয়, কেন আমরা তাকে স্মরণ করছি? বড় মার যে বিশাল জীবন একটা মানুষের যেভাবে থাকে, একটি ব্যক্তি জীবন, একটা পারিবারিক জীবন, একটা সাংসারিক জীবন, একটি সামাজিক জীবন, একটি ধার্মিক জীবন, এই জীবনের যে প্রত্যেকটি পদক্ষেপ উনি এই মাতৃভবনের সাথে যুক্ত থেকে তার জীবনের 60টি বছর অতিবাহিত করেছেন। প্রত্যেকটি পদক্ষেপের মধ্য দিয়ে প্রত্যেকটি জীবন উনি এইখানেই অতিবাহিত করেছেন। তার ব্যক্তি জীবন, তার সাংসারিক জীবন, তার পারিবারিক জীবন, তার কর্মজীবন, তার ধার্মিক জীবন, সমস্ত জীবনটাই উনি এখানে কাটিয়ে গেছেন। এবং আমরা তো ভাবতে পারছি না, এখানেই বড় মায়ের পদধূলি পড়েছে। আমরা যেখানে আজকে বসে তাকে স্মরণ করছি, সেইখানে উনি অনেকবার হয়তো হেঁটে গেছেন একটা সময়ে। সেই যে বড় মায়ের স্মৃতি, তাকে বর্ণনা করা আমাদের পক্ষে সম্ভব না। তার বিভিন্ন দিক আমাদের একটার পর একটা উন্মোচিত করেছেন, অনেকেই জানেন। তবে বিশেষ করে আমি আজকে দুটো কথা বলবো, সেটা হচ্ছে ওনার কর্মজীবন নিয়ে। আর আমরা সবাই জানি যে ব্যক্তিকে আমরা স্মরণীয়, মননীয় আমরা করে থাকি, যাদেরকে আজীবন আমাদের অন্তঃস্থলে যারা রক্ষিত থাকেন, তারা তাদের কর্মের মাধ্যমেই থাকেন। কর্ম ছাড়া কেউ চিরস্থায়ী হতে পারে না। কর্মই আমাদেরকে একটা জায়গায় নিয়ে যায়, সবার কাছে পরিচিত হওয়ার, সবার কাছে মনে রাখার, সবার অন্তরে প্রবেশ করার সে অনুমতি দেয়। তার সেই কর্ম, সে সৎকর্ম, তার প্রকৃত কর্ম, তার যে কর্মধারা, নিঃস্বার্থ কর্ম, অপরের সেবা কর্ম, এবং কর্মের মাধ্যমে যে ভক্তি, কর্মযোগ এবং ভক্তি একসাথে মিশে, যে ভক্তিযোগ আর কর্মযোগকে মিশিয়ে যে মানুষ বড় মাকে আমরা পেয়েছিলাম, তার প্রত্যেকটি জিনিস, প্রত্যেকটি পদক্ষেপ, প্রত্যেকটি কাজের সাথে এত ভালোবাসা, এত আন্তরিকতা, এত ভক্তি, অন্তর থেকে তিনি কাজটা করতেন। তার প্রত্যেকটি কাজের মধ্যে তার যে দূরদর্শিতা, তার যে জ্ঞান, তার যে বিবেক, তার মন প্রাণ সমস্ত ঢেলে দিয়ে তিনি প্রত্যেকটি কাজ করতেন। তার কাজের ধারার প্রত্যেকে এত বুকে অন্তরে ঘা দিত, ধাক্কা দিত, যারা কাজ করতে চাইতো না তাদেরকেও উনি কাজ করতে বাধ্য করতেন। তার উৎসাহী, উদ্যোগী, তার যে ধার্মিক জীবন, সেই ধর্মজীবনটা যেন এই কর্মের মাধ্যমেই তিনি কাটিয়েছেন, অতিবাহিত করেছেন। অর্থাৎ তার কাছে সর্বোপরি কর্মই ধর্ম হয়ে গেছিল, এবং কর্মের মাধ্যমেই তিনি আমাদের মধ্যে বেঁচে আছেন, বেঁচে থাকবেন। আর একটা কথা বলবো,